Hi, I'm Dr. Julia Finch. I'm Associate Professor of Art History in the Department of Art and Design at Morehead State University, and I'm also the Interim Director of the Kentucky Folk Art Center. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the artwork of Robert Morgan. So Robert Morgan is a native Lexingtonian, so he is from the region. His mother is also an untrained artist, and she was from the Troublesome Creek area. So he was able to kind of draw upon the traditional folk art of Eastern Kentucky as well as his experiences living in Lexington. Morgan identifies as a gay man, so he was also a part of the small but vibrant LGBTQ community in Lexington during the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. And he also, for a time, lived with the artist Henry Faulkner. And so in that experience as well, he learned a lot about art and also became kind of the guardian of some of the stories of gay men and women in Lexington and in Kentucky in general. So a lot of Morgan's artwork is what we would call assemblage. We can also talk about found objects when we talk about his work. And as you can see from the last lightning bug here, you can recognize objects that we might have discarded or thrown in the trash that he has repurposed for this particular sculpture. Most notably, right in the center here, you've got a very large piece of a street lamp. So you've got the street lamp here. And then affixed to that, you've got all kinds of bottle caps, reflectors, pieces of wire, pieces of string. And so this creates what we would call an assemblage, taking things and putting them together, transforming them, making us see them in a different way, and understanding the sculpture in a way that has transformed it from the street lamp to the lightning bug that you see here. Robert Morgan is also really influenced by his religious upbringing and by exploring other religions in his work. So he was raised Catholic, and so there are some elements of Catholicism and some iconography that we find in his work, but he's also inspired by looking at Hinduism and Buddhism and other religions. So here we see these figures that almost look like statues of gods or goddesses. And again, he's using his assemblage technique to take bits and pieces, sometimes broken toys, again, pieces of just decorative items that he would find, sometimes find, he says, in the dollar store, and goes and buys the whole bin of it and uses these pieces to decorate his works. Something as simple as a chain with a lock around it, juxtaposed with this paperweight that has a bug, a scorpion kind of embedded within it. So you can see that he's very interested in the juxtaposition of what some of us might call trash and what others might call treasure, to create these objects that for him have a kind of symbolic and maybe even religious resonance. So when I think about Morgan's work, another word that comes to mind is transformation. And along with the idea of the relic, he takes these old things that are seemingly not of use anymore and transforms them into something new, which is a work of art. You recognize this old relic of a phone booth, right? We don't see those around too much anymore, a payphone. This one happens to have come from the Atomic Cafe in Lexington, so we're really lucky to have gotten this relic of both the culture of the Atomic Cafe and of Morgan's work. So he's transformed the phone booth now, no longer operational. He's even added in some other places some newer technologies, some cell phones up here at the top that you can see as you walk around. Morgan is still a living artist. He's a contemporary artist still living in Lexington. You can often hear him talking and speaking about his work and also speaking about his advocacy within the gay community. And he's still a strong supporter of LGBTQ rights in Kentucky. And as I mentioned, he's also really worked to kind of record and create an archive of the history of the LGBTQ community in Kentucky. And so the Faulkner Morgan Archive is a place where you can go to find out more about that community.